All right, family. We live once again with the general. You already know what time it is. We talking nothing but black power today, all day, every day. Talking about the black dollar because a lot of our peoples out here is boycotting, and we got to do more than boycott. In honor, of our brother, little brother Cyrus. Who was gunned down by Rick Child in California and no, it wasn't in California. It was in what I'm talking about in California. And was it South Carolina? South Carolina, what I'm talking about. Uh we're in for all our fallen family. You see, for all our fallen family, this is something we should have been doing. But it's not about boycotting. That's not the right word. You see, that's not the right word. We should be it should be about black economics anyway for the black community. Black power mean boycott mean, once somebody faking like they going, they good with you again, you ready to run back over there and spend your money. You gotta stop spending your money. That's what got these people, feeling real, like they got some power, which they don't have. We gave them that power. The thing, because when they came over here, they had them, them dollar store shoes on, them karate shoes on. They wasn't talking big. They had just come out the rice paddies. And then they come over here, then they want to look at you and me now because you didn't fill their pockets up with millions and millions of dollars. And now they want to talk to you like you ain't about shit. Because they figuring you've been giving them all your goddamn money without no political, they don't do nothing for you. They don't speak for you. They just all they do is get your money and run. That's all they do. Get your money and run and go out there, build a community. And China right now is trying to take the United States out. No, we understand that ain't got nothing, but it do. Now it show people say, "Oh, that's between the white man and the China man." He fleecing your ass too. That's the naivete of a lot of our people to think that it's just between the Chinaman. No, he fleecing your ass too. You just don't want to admit to it. He got the same racial racist inclinations to demean you, belittle you, when they can, making all these weak ass dolls and shit, which they've been doing. But now it's time to take that money and invest it back into your own people, your own community. And I've been talking about this long before Cyrus. I was talking about black power, been talking about black power. You leave out your door, you should if you can look around your community, the first when you walk out the door, the businesses closest to you in proximity to your house, when you go up there on the corner, who own them businesses? That's where you should start. And if them businesses is owned by the China man, the white man, the Asian man, the Hispanic man, then there's a problem. You've been feeding them too long. You see, Last Supper. See, the Last Supper. That's what the name this movement should be called, the Last Supper. Ain't gonna be no more meals. Ain't gonna be no more meals. And so, yeah, Jet Li, Jackie Chan, and all of them. No more free meals. You see, no more free lunches. It's time. It's time for y'all to stand on your own. Real talk. Take your stove and go and sell to white people. They want Gucci and Lucci and Poochie. They ain't gonna want no damn China man shit. So black people was the one buying all that. They ain't gonna want it. They're gonna go to the high end shit in Europe. They ain't about to go to no China man get that bullshit. Ain't nothing but goddamn Vaseline. That's all. That's all they doing. Selling niggas different kinds of Vaseline, calling it grease. Put you some, some air freshener in your shit so it smell good. Niggas smell it. Oh man, this shit must be good as hell. Put that shit in your hair be all on the pillow the next goddamn morning. Patches all and your shit never grow because it say super grow. That shit don't it shrink. You know, they said some super shrink. It ain't super grow, super shrink. You know, we got all the formulas to create our own. So we got to keep our dollars to ourselves. This is time to show a motherfucker. You know that we, you know that we growing up today. You know, we growing up today. We ain't depending on nothing because we got enough with $2 trillion. We got enough spending power to spend on ourselves. We could turn our situation around right now. You know, we hustlers like that. We got to find a way to flip that 2 million and make it 4 million. Flip that 4 million and make it 6 million. That's how we have to do. And we could do that. But we have to invest in ourselves. And the first place you invest is right in proximity of your house. When you come out your door, you should be able to have your grocery store, your super, a gas station. You got your little liquor store. You need that. You got to have that. You got to have your bank. You got to have your, you got to have your medicine too. I know y'all don't, you really don't need it, as much. But I know some people need, so you need your drugstore, you need your bank, you need your clothing store, you need all of that. And you should own that, just like they got the little setups, where they come in town and they setting up or they starting a new community. They always had those strip malls and shit, and they put everything in that community gonna need in that strip mall. You need to own every business in it. You need to own all the business, run them out, and it's your community. Take over your own community. You should own over 90% of your own community. You should own over 90% of your own community. Period. And businesses, houses, that just it's no other way. The days of letting somebody else control the black community is over. It's been over. But a lot of y'all still want to sit in the white man lap. Y'all begging him, and because you begging him for some shit, you got to grovel. You see, you got to grovel for whatever you ask for. You know what I'm saying? If you don't do it, I don't need you to do shit. You got $2 trillion. You don't need shit. Once you start flipping that kind of money, the shit that they, you will forget about that. You'll forget about, and I understand you want reparation, but that's like niggas looking for checks because they don't want to get up and do, a free check, and it's not free because it is our money. But see, niggas looking for free checks all everywhere. Wherever they can get a free check, they looking for it. Any type of money, the stimulus package, this, that, niggas looking for checks. That's what niggas looking for. You know why? Because they broke. And you know why they broke? Because they don't own their own motherfucking community. They don't have no residuals coming in. You see what I'm saying? They don't have that coming in. See, that man making money every day, that could be money be made by you. You could own the supermarket. You could have some, a part owner. You could own the liquor store. You can own the gas station. You can have money coming in on it, especially things that people need every damn day. So these is businesses, and so that's where you start. And once you do that, then the bakery gonna come. In shoe stores, we'll start and we'll go right there and buy our shoes right out of the stores right there in our own community. We won't go nowhere else. And we'll have quality stuff for our people. And as long as you give them quality and you right there and right near the house, they're gonna go right there to you, and you got a business forever. You can hand that business down, then other businesses will start coming all up and down the street. To be different businesses, and and that's what it should be. This is how you gonna straighten this up, because these people been this way for a long time. The Chinese ain't just got like this. They was buying slaves too. Did y'all know that? China was buying slaves. Yeah, in the Arab slave trade, China was buying slaves. Yes, they was. So they participated. They participated in the slave trade, right along with the Indian and right along with a lot of them Asian countries on the Indian Ocean. And so they was a part of it. So they got something to do the enslavement of our people too, and we should know that, and we should teach that. They got all type of history that they teach. They don't. Everything ain't pretty. They talk about how the white man came over there and carved China up. So if they could talk about that, then we could talk about how they sold our people and bought our people the same damn way. We act like we don't remember because we don't know. We don't know. We don't want to know. Because you want to keep sitting in their lap, being a buffoon, and that's why they make Sambo dolls and this, that, and the third, because you want to play the role of, of a Sambo. Okay, you want to play the role of a Sambo. We got to wake up today. We got to take that two trip. It's not about a boycott. It's about black power. That's something totally different. Black power is saying that we're gonna spend over 90% of what we make with our own people. You see, over 90%. And the other little crumbs and shit is what we can't get nowhere else. We can't get for when we it be some things that, but we have to make sure that we spend at least that much with our own people, and and we can sustain ourselves and we can grow that way and provide, because we have to build a place. We can't patronize at the expense of our own children. Our children need a future. We're doing this for our children and our children's children and their children. We trying to build dynasties here. So what we're putting down is for our descendants. We looking far beyond us. And we got to set them up so they don't have to go through all this bullshit. You mean to tell me you can't do no more than that? That you would leave another generation to have to go through the same fuck shit that you could ice right now? You can ice this shit right now. Practicing black power, getting the ball rolling, so that by the time they step up, they already in the energy. They loving the energy. They about the energy. Because they're going to take the baton and they're going to do triple the shit that we did with it, because they gifted like that. But if you can get the baton to them early where they ain't got to grovel and beg and do all this bullshit, then they already off to the races. And so they thinking about performing at this point. They performing and doing, and then they pass it down to the grandbabies, and now we back on top. We back on top. Just that quick. See, they know the potential of our people. It ain't like it's going to, man, shit, 2 generations. Our babies and they baby, we be right back on motherfucking top just that quick. You feel what I'm saying? But it's about black power. It's not about boycotting. And I ain't saying don't boycott, but boycott means that after they pretend like they like you again, you willing to go spend your dollar with. No, once you boycott a motherfucker, that's it. That's it. Last supper. You know what I'm saying? The last supper. That's it. Ain't gonna be no more meals. Ain't no more free lunches. None of that. You feel what I'm saying? We don't even want you down here. We want them dollars for our babies. We need to be able to give our babies them business. Go out there in your own community, set up and sell hair products to your people. That's what you need to do. You need to put some and see if your own people support you in that. That's what you need to do. Set up Chinese beauty supplies for Chinese hair and set that shit up out there with your own people and see if they support you like that. See if you can get rich off of that. You see, go out there and sell them that pigeon meat and shit and goddamn armadillo meat. And we don't want that shit. I don't want y'all up there eating Rottweiler meat and shit and all of that. Yeah, motherfuckers out there eating Rottweiler meat and shit. I ain't got time for all that bullshit. But let your dollar speak for you, family. Yeah. Talk, let your dollar speak for you. And it's about black power, black economics, all black everything. You feel me? I'll see y'all in a minute. Make sure y'all get over to Patreon. If you want fire, that's the place you can go get it all day, every day. There's the general, and I be black. See you in a minute, family. Black power.